How do you fix this?
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't. You have to burn this. You have to burn it to the ground, Mark.
Yeah.
You have to. You can't fix this.
Yeah.
I feel like it's shit. Everything's wrong. It doesn't work as an anthology show.
Yeah.
It doesn't work as a Nightmare on Elm Street show. It's not fun. It's not serious enough. It's not clever. Nothing is good.
Yeah. It's not horrifying.
Right.
It's not scary. It's not laugh out loud. Yeah. There's nothing about it.
And it's inconsistent. So like with season 1, there were a few bright spots where you and I were like, Love Stinks. That's kind of a funny one.
Right.
This one, Sister's Keeper, they didn't have the budget, but they tried some stuff.
You can see what they were going for, and
Right.
we'll give them some points for that. Yeah.
But that's like 2% of the whole show.
Yeah.
The rest of the show is mostly just crap. So like, here's my pitch.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I've been waiting all day for this. Oh, I've been waiting for months for this. To be
Okay.
honest.
Yeah, almost a year.
Yeah.
Almost a year. This is how you fix Freddy's Nightmares or Nightmare on Elm Street the series. And that's what I want to do. I'm going to ditch the whole anthology episode idea because it's stupid and it doesn't work. Because the problem with the anthology idea is, by definition, an anthology has to have separate, distinct stories. Yeah. But how are they separate if Freddy needs to be the main antagonist?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. If Freddy is the main antagonist, so then all you're doing is giving us a bunch of episodes that are mini versions of these movies, well, that's going to get old real fucking quick, right? So you kind of can't do that. So then what's the solution? Well, then just have Freddy be the Crypt Keeper.
Right.
Okay.
Just telling stories, but then that's not what Freddy is.
But that's not what Freddy is. And while I do think Robert Englund's talented, and I think his Freddy segments, and we're going to end this by saying some of our favorite Freddy segments. We'll save it right for the end. Yep. Try to give it a little bit of bright spot.
I've got nothing for you.
I've got a few.
Yeah.
He's good and he keeps the energy up. He tries, but the Freddy as a Crypt Keeper, the problem is exactly what you just said. That's not Freddy. Why would he be commenting on things he had nothing to do with?
Right.
And the other problem with it is their notion that it's almost like they tried to make, it's Freddy's Nightmares. But really what it is it's Springwood's Nightmares. Because a lot of the shit that happens in this series, I got to stop aiming at these. In this series, in the TV show, it's random supernatural things that just happen to happen in Springwood. So you're telling me that Springwood is just like, was it Elm Grove? It's from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's like,
I never watched it.
Oh, okay. It's like wherever Buffy's from is like, that's the hotbed of all supernatural activity. It's like where the Hellmouth is. Yeah. So all this evil shit just constantly keeps popping up.
Right under their school, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like Freddy just isn't really the main antagonist, but then sometimes he is, because then they're like, man, we can't never use him.
But you also expect that he will be, because you know what Freddy is, right? So, yeah.
So that format doesn't work. So we got to ditch it. So this is my pitch for a Nightmare on Elm Street TV show.
Yeah.
This is what you do. And I need unlimited resources, unlimited budget. I'm just pointing out, like, you dreamt it as you had the restrictions of this show.
Trying to fix what they had.
Yeah. And in my mind, also, I want to point out, I'm making my show now.
Yeah.
So I'm not making my show in 89, 1990, because they couldn't give me the money or the rating that I need to make this show work.
Yeah.
So this show has to be set at least post 2000.
Right.
HBO has to be a thing. This has to be without it R-rated. That's like the first thing we're going to fix. You have a show, you have a series that is known for its gore and its incredible practical effects, and you neuter it.
You don't include any of that. Yeah.
And also a show that has, or a series that has a lot of gratuitous nudity, and you can't show us all that. You got to show us pasties. Like, I'm sorry, but like, these are fun, schlocky movies.
Right.
We got TNA, awesome fucking soundtracks, a kick-ass killer, and fucking amazing practical gore effects. That's my love.
Where is it?
Yeah. Where is it? Because it isn't in this. So you need to give me an R rating, and you need to make this on like fucking HBO or Cinemax or AMC. Like, it's got to not be restricted by budget, and it's going to not be restricted by violence. Like, because The Walking Dead crossed boundaries. That was like one of the first, I think The Walking Dead might be the first television show where they were allowed to show really gory shit.
Yeah.
You know, like some other HBO shows push some boundaries, like Oz and that, but like The Walking Dead, like there's legit, I mean, a dude gets his head caved in with a baseball bat and they show it.
It is violent. Yeah.
That's the level I want. So, all that in mind, this is what I would like to happen. I would like to turn the movies or the concept of the movies into long form seasons. Okay. So we know by the time Freddy's Dead comes out, this one right here, that basically all the kids of Springwood are dead.
Yeah.
So Freddy has essentially accomplished his mission at that point. So I don't want to go too far. Because if we go past that, it's a little too... Where do you go with that? What does Freddy try to conquer the world?
Yeah.
I still want to ground it in Springwood. So how about we set up post Elm Street 5? Because Elm Street 5, I know you don't really care for 4 and 5, and especially 5. 5, though, kind of resets everything again. Often these movies just end with a reset where it's like Freddy's defeated, but in a way that's very nebulous and ambiguous. It's like in 5, it's like his spirit mother takes him away into the afterlife. Sure, whatever. Yeah. So we treat Elm Street 1 to 5 as the Bible. These set the rules. These set the world. These built it. And we're going to build off of that.
Right.
So we're going post Elm Street 5, but pre Freddy's Dead. So we're going to exist in this nebulous time where Freddy's still active, but there's nothing really set in stone. And in my ideal scenario, I'm making the sequel to 5 and Freddy's Dead never happens.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ignore Freddy's Dead in my version. What you're watching, that's what would have come after Freddy's Dead. So I'm saying it can't really be post Freddy's Dead because Freddy's Dead does so much lore shit that it fucks with things.
That it doesn't really have the license to touch.
And it's like Lisa Zane's character, like Maggie Kruger and all that shit. It's like, it's got too much shit involved. So we need to get rid of that. So... What are you laughing at? Do you like where I'm going with this? Yeah. So we use the lore and characters already established in 1 to 5, and we don't fuck with it. Okay, we don't change what's in these, but maybe we try new things within the same basic rule set. So like you mentioned the idea of like, a guy in a coma. We never really had that happen.
Yep.
We try things like that. How about the twins?
Yeah.
They could have totally been Elm Street characters.
And we talked about that. Like, what better heroes than,
Yeah, it felt like an Elm Street movie.
Yeah.
The two twins, Merritt and Lisa and Merritt, I think. Lisa and Merritt. Yeah. We try new things. We try to show you new stuff, but we never go against the Bible. We never break the established rules unless it's really well, like, unless we give it reason. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, you could really take the opportunity then to get in with a group of teenagers and flesh them out over the course of like 10 episodes.
You got it. Right. So this is where we're going. So it gives us the freedom to introduce completely new characters into this already established setting, which already has lore. And so you could watch these movies and now you got the whole backstory of the show, right? We're not going to redo the origin. You're not getting any No More Mr. Nice Guy bullshit episode. None of that shit. Yeah. We're not going to redo we're not redoing any of these movies. They've happened. We're just going to come after that. So we're going to give you a whole new group of kids. And what I think they should do is after Elm Street 5, Freddy's basically gone at this point. And I think what should happen is Alice gets her happy ending, because Alice doesn't die. And you know how much I love Alice.
Yep.
Alice moves away. And seemingly that's what they did, because she's never referenced again in the series.
They don't talk about her. Yep.
They don't talk about her. And now Lisa Wilcox is too old, so she can't really come back as Alice. And I don't really want to do a time skip. Like maybe we bring Lisa Wilcox back, but she plays a different character.
Yeah.
So we're bringing her back just for, we love Lisa Wilcox, but she's not playing Alice, okay? Maybe she's Alice's grandmother or some shit, something like that. No shade on Lisa Wilson. She's older now, right? But Alice has moved away. The town knows about Krueger. Many kids have died at this point. But Freddy's kind of defeated. And I think this is where we start with our groundwork for season 1. And you can tell I really thought of this.
Yeah, you did.
I'm a huge, you can see I'm a big Elm Street fan. Yeah. This is what I legit would want. Like legitimately, I would want this. So I want 3 to 4 seasons to play with. And we're just going to do, so in case you're thinking like, was every episode just going to be another kid gets killed? No. I just want a handful of kills a season. Because it's going to be hard, because the kills I want full-on elaborate dream sequences. I want the same level of production of these films on the small screen.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. So just a handful per season. But they're going to be good ones when they come, right? And the other thing is, it can't be a kill every episode, because then we're never going to get time to get to know these characters, right? So what I would like is the first season, we're introduced to a new batch of Elm Street kids, and we slowly get to know them, slowly get to grow with them a little bit.
Yep.
And I want the first season is Freddy slowly starts to regain his power. Because the way Freddy works is similar in Elm Street 4. If nobody's thinking about him, he doesn't exist.
He feeds off the fear, right?
But he's also he's like a Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah. Like if you don't believe in him, like in part 1, she turns around
and basically makes him vanish.
Yeah.
So the more he's in the collective subconscious of the residents of Springwood, the more he can actually manifest and have abilities.
Right.
So I would like season 1 builds this up, and they slow roll Freddy. So it should be the kids are just like, yeah, I had a friend that heard about this Krueger guy, and like just little tidbits, because the town at this point already knows. The parents already know. Everybody knows somebody that's been affected by one of these films, and that's what I would like. That's where we're starting at. But Freddy's defeated at this point, so he's weak.
It's also been a long time.
Yes.
Right. So people have started to, not necessarily forget, but
it's gone into the background.
Put it in the back.
It's in the back of people's minds, but they're slowly starting to learn about him again. And we should get teases. So like characters could have dream sequences, and in the dreams, Freddy doesn't show up, but we see like red and green items, like objects in their dreams. Maybe we get like claw imagery in some of their dreams. And this slow rolls through the first season as these kids slowly find out about this guy, and Freddy is getting more and more powerful. And I don't think he should show up until the finale of the first season. We don't get to see full Freddy Krueger until end of season 1. That's when he shows up. Season 2 and 3 should then be the kids slowly learning about, because now Freddy shows up. So now the kids are just like, no, maybe he picks off 1 or 2 of them. And now the kids are like, oh my God, we are Elm Street kids.
Yep.
We're the kids from these stories. How do we fight back? And now we're in a proper Elm Street movie. So season 1 is almost like a prequel to an Elm Street movie.
The build up.
Yes.
Yep.
So 2 and 3, and debatably 4, is now we're in an Elm Street movie, and how do we fight back? And the kids should slowly learn about the backstory of Freddy. And when I say backstory of Freddy, really I'm talking about is the lore of these films.
Yep.
They should look back, and we could have like, they could find journal entries. They could find tapes maybe from the sessions. Because I was thinking like in Elm Street 3, that facility probably shut down. Because like every one of those kids is dead.
But all that stuff has still got to be there somewhere.
Right.
Yep.
So maybe they break into like Gordon West. Maybe we recast Gordon West, and that guy's still in Springwood, but he's like bitter that he couldn't save Nancy, and like no one believed any of his shit, but he still has sessions, and we could get like, maybe we get interviews with like Taryn, or like and obviously we can't get the actress, but we could have voice recordings.
Yeah.
They could find audio tapes of like the nerdy wizard kid, and it's like the things they learned, and maybe we get a little bit more lore that we didn't get in those earlier ones.
There's
you know?
definitely throwbacks to the movies that the diehards like you and I would recognize.
I
right?
would
Yeah.
just eat that shit up.
Yeah.
Like, for example, one of the best parts of Nightmare on Elm Street 2, which Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is terrible, but my favorite thing in it is probably when Jesse finds Nancy's journal from Elm Street 1.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome because you're giving us stuff we never got in the first one, but you're respecting it.
Yeah.
It's respectively calling it back. So they could find, I literally wrote down, they could go to iconic places from the other Elm Street movies. We could go to the institution from Elm Street 3. Maybe we go to the diner where Alice worked in part 4, but it's now like destroyed and decrepit, and maybe they find the owner and he talks about Alice or something, and like it would just be pure fan service for the Elm Street fans, but it also serves a purpose of educating our new Elm Street
junkyard.
kids.
Yeah.
Yes. There's got to be a showdown in the junkyard.
Right.
That's got to happen, right? And I'm going to throw this out there, and I don't think you're going to like this idea, but maybe we try something new. One of the things we never saw, and you were worried about this remember the Howard character from It's My Party?
Yeah.
You were like, oh, I was worried he was going to be like a minion for Freddy. Maybe we introduce a secondary antagonist. Like, is it that far-fetched that Freddy cuts a deal with one of the kids? And it's basically just like, look, I could kill you, or you work for me, and not only am I going to protect you, maybe I can give you a little something.
Yeah.
Like maybe we can tweak the lore a little bit, and maybe that character maybe Freddy's able to give him a little bit of his power in some way.
Right. The kid that was made fun of at the prom. Right.
And then now we get a secondary antagonist. So now we have a double threat of, it's not just Freddy you got to look out for. There's this other guy that's the Renfield. Freddy's got a Renfield that's doing his bidding during the day. Maybe he destroys like the town supply of Hypnosil.
Right. Yeah.
Like shit like that, right? Basically what I'm asking for is I want a Nightmare on Elm Street Cobra Kai.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I want.
Enough throwbacks to the original to satisfy the
Die
golden
Hard
oldies, but enough fresh stuff so that the next generation can watch it and not feel like they're missing out because they didn't love the originals the way that or have even seen the way.
And I would like to call the new show, nice clean title, Springwood. Don't even call it Elm Street.
Yep.
Don't even call it Freddy's, just Springwood. There you go. That's my pitch, buddy. What do you think?
I love it. I love it. You got to get some money. You got to get somebody to pay for it.
If you are interested in kickstarting my fan project that I would like to make called Springwood, then please, I'll have a link down below. We're gonna start a Kickstarter now. But yeah, what do you think of my idea? Do you like it?
Yeah,
Would you watch this?
Yeah, I mean,
It's never gonna happen. Like
no.
never.
But
and also I want to address, obviously I'm making this show now, so Robert Englund's too old, so we're going to recast Freddy.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem with that, fuck you, because at some point you're going to have to,
don't
man.
really have a choice.
Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you want me to de-age him, which I ain't doing that.
Yeah, the idea of being able to do what a lot of modern shows are getting to do that maybe they wouldn't have been able to do in the past is let the show breathe, right? Because that's how you build tension. That's how you build character development. Trying to cram something into 22 minutes and fumbling about the whole time, you're just wasting it, right? Now, back at the time when the show was made, they didn't have that opportunity, but now you do.
Now
right?
you actually can.
Right?
Like Cobra Kai paved the way.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai proved that, not only can you do a legacy sequel to something, you can do it good.
Yeah.
You can do it well. Cobra Kai, we both love Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
We're actively watching it. We're excited for the finale.
Waiting. Yeah, it's coming.
And Cobra Kai does everything right.
Yeah.
It pays respect. It treats the original films, even the bad ones, it treats them with the utmost respect.
Yeah.
It never shits on any fans. If you like fucking Karate Kid 3, it doesn't punish you for it.
Yeah.
Terry Silver, the main antagonist of 3, comes back They give him a whole arc in the new show. They respect everything from
It doesn't
the originals.
retcon all that stuff out.
Never
either.
retcons anything, really. And all of the new characters are likable, and they build them up where you want to root for them. And you get fun fan interactions you never got before, you know? It's never going to happen.
But hey, you can dream.
And you know he's going to be waiting for me in my
Right,
dreams,
yeah.
don't you? It's going to be this fucking guy.